Good evening. This is CTV News for Friday, June 22nd. I'm Denise Douglas.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Well, as controversy and confusion continue over the immigration policy here in the United States, we now know that some of the migrants are here in Anne Arundel County. State Senator Paul Pinsky says adults and children who were separated at the border are being housed here in Maryland at different facilities. This is video from a Texas detention center. It's not clear if the adults and children in Maryland are related.
There are some parents. There are some in North Anne Arundel County. ICE rents space from one of the jails, actually. So we do have parents in the state whose children have been pulled from them. Unfortunately, they separated some children who are very young, who don't even know where they came from, who can't describe it. So social services has a lot of work ahead of them to try to match them up. When the federal government did this, which was abominable, they didn't take any pains to try to figure out how they're going to solve this at the end point.
Protesters plan to demonstrate outside of the Anne Arundel facility in Glen Burnie tonight, demanding that the county cancel its contract with the center.
Meanwhile, a Maryland real estate broker rejects a federal request for dorm space to house more migrant children. Stephen Ferrandi with School Broker Real Estate Advisors says a federal subcontractor located at National Harbor contacted him last week. He says Habib Konate asked if he could identify a Maryland property for kids coming across the border that could house up to 150 children. Ferrandi rejected the request and then emailed hundreds of other brokers urging them to do the same.
They called and they were asking for a facility to handle 150 to 175 kids, and immediate response. He needed something for July. He called me on Friday of this past week. I thought that was a little odd. Normally things like this take 6 or 7 months. So I asked questions, what is it that you're using the facility for? And that's when I found that they were using it for the detainment of children that were being arrested and taken across the southern border, or from the southern border to Maryland. But internally, we had an office meeting, and I said, "There's no way in heck that we're going to do this. This is absolutely evil and is immoral. And as a company, we're not making blood money." So I sent an email out to the 300 real estate professionals that work in our market, figuring that if they weren't getting it from us, they might be able to source a facility for detainment from somebody else. And I asked all of the real estate brokers, commercial real estate brokers in our market, not to stand with me and not agree to find facilities.
Maryland is one of 17 states receiving some of the 2,300 children separated from their parents under the zero-tolerance policy of the Trump administration.
In other news, Prince George's County Executive Rashawn Baker is defending the school district amidst accusations of more inappropriate pay raises. School board member Edward Burris tells us that about a dozen central office employees received excessive increases in pay. He also says there are cases where people were demoted but kept their higher salary. This is the second time that this has been an issue. Back in March, the CEO of the school district came under fire for signing off on excessive raises for his executive staff. Baker's opponent in the race for governor, Ben Jealous, criticized him, questioning his oversight on this issue. Baker shot back at Jealous and the overall accusations by Burrows.
What we've seen is this is a camp that people are using our children as a political football. That's an example of it. Ben Jealous doing that. It also shows how much he doesn't know about Maryland and the role of education in here. So I don't take anything he says about our school system, which he's never visited, doesn't know anything very seriously. Well, first of all, I have not seen the audit from the school system. The only thing I've seen is that I did get a report about the union president being one of the individuals that got an exorbitant raise there. But that's the only thing I've seen. And sending me a letter, that wouldn't make any sense since it's actually the school board that oversees it. So.
A school district spokesman told us that the audit in question is a draft, which means that the information is subject to change.